My name is Jordan Pearson. I'm from Torbay in Devon. I've been a youth worker, I've been a support worker, and I've even ran my own community centre. And throughout those journeys, I've met so many ordinarily kind people that don't get the recognition that they deserve. So this is my attempt to recognise them. I think kindness is within all of us. It costs nothing to be kind, but it probably means the most. We're looking for kind people that are passionate about what they do and really trying to make a huge difference in their community. These people are the backbone of our society, giving one thing that you can't get more of, their time. In this series, my friend Rach from Part-Time Working Mummy joins me as we travel up and down the country in our search for ordinary kindness. In this episode, we've come to Shiregreen United Reform Church in Sheffield. Shiregreen is the UK's largest housing estate, so keeping a close-knit community can be a real challenge. The URC has taken that challenge and tackled it head-on. The focus here is not one of worship, but one of togetherness. And we meet the people who've taken their time to keep it that way.
One day, Gwen and Ian, obviously they started all this lunch club, and they were kind of, going to go back to work kind of thing. So they needed somebody within the lunch club. So they said, we're having a meeting. Will you come across? All the ladies. So come across, and they're discussing what was happening, and that within the lunch club, the church elders. So I said, but I'm telling you now, I'm not going in kitchen. So anyhow, that's how it all started. I mean, for the first month, obviously, if you'd, after cooking for 3, I was cooking for 45, 48. So, the pie crust, there were more rolls in pie crust, forgive me. How much flour do you use? Oh, God.
Being a Wednesday, our visit coincided with the Lunch Club, a twice-weekly social gathering for the socially isolated and elderly residents of the estate. We couldn't resist the lasagna, so we joined in without too much protest, and they even made some vegan stuff for the crew. The Lunch Club had only just reopened after the 3rd lockdown, so the numbers were understandably low. Whilst we helped with the clean-up, we got a chance to speak to Gwen and Ian, who run the Lunch Club. Let's get the dishwasher on air.
Jordan, press this button.
This one here, yeah?
3 minutes later, it'll be washed. It's called Lunch Club, and people come to eat, and we get a bit obsessed with the quality of the eating, of the food. But actually, the Lunch Club isn't about the lunch. The Lunch Club is about the people coming and meeting and talking to each other in the same place as everything. And what we've always wanted to say here is that this has been, in the past, a fairly poor estate. It's a bit better now. Sanctuary's done a huge amount of good work on the estate, but we've always been very clear that whatever we did, we wanted to do it well.
We've become the cooks. We buy the food, we plan the menus, and then we cook generally on Wednesdays, yeah.
Okay, and what sort of time do you get here, and how does that
We get here about 8:30, between 8 and 8:30. The meals served around about noon, and then it's sort of tea and the dreaded bingo.
The dreaded bingo.
Which we don't get involved in.
When you start one thing off, it creates other opportunities. So when we were starting the Lunch Club, we thought, well, we need to help people get in and out. So we went to the council and said, can we buy one of your old minibuses? And so we gave them 40 quid, which we thought was a rip-off for an old comma van. And we set up the community transport scheme.
When was that?
76. Yes.
I can't even buy a takeaway for 40 quid for my family if we bought a van.
And so this church and a church down in Burngreave, which in Sheffield terms is like one of the inner city multi-community groups, those two churches collaborated to set up Pittsmore and Shiregreen Community Transport. And 45 years later, we're still running it. We've got 4 minibuses and it services the lunch clubs and the community groups and things. So one thing enables you to run to another.
It's that knock-on.
It's that collaborative web.
You talk personally as well.
Yeah.
It came a time when I really needed to be here. I always say that I was meant to be here one way or another. I just had one daughter. In 1985 she died. She was 34. I take after my daughter, she didn't take after me. Her work came first. And then, as I say, this was the time when I knew I was meant to come here. I'm not being religious or anything, but I was meant to come here. And believe you me, had some hilarious and happy times. The biggest loss in my life was my daughter, because she was my life, as well as my husband.
Yeah.
But this place, believe you me, for me alone, and I know for other people, but for me alone, has been a godsend. I'm being honest with you when I say I've never heard anybody, and I mean this, ever pull anybody apart.
Yeah.
I've never heard that here. I deal with money on other side at Lunch Club. And it's that keeps me going.
Yeah.
I'm certain of it. It's that keeps me going.
I got involved in 1996 when I came with my daughter to toddler group, and I came through the door, and it was difficult because I'd suffered with postnatal depression, and so it was very hard walking through the door. And the lady that ran the activities then got me involved. It was a lovely, lovely group, and I think that not Gwen that's here today, but the Gwen that run all that, she fostered that, making sure that everybody sort of joined together and mucked in together. We all used to sit around for snack together, and it always felt very like comfortable and close. And a lot of the parents at the toddler group then helped at the kids' activities, and so we'd already got that sort of like a family feel, and all the kids grew up together, and yeah, it was good.
So after that first session, what was the little thing that made you come back? Because sometimes people are like, yeah, that's great.
It was Gwen Smithies saying, "I'll see you again next week."
And you just were like,
"Oh, okay."
So you do a lot with social isolation and the elderly, but there's a huge focus here around young mums, and actually for you that must be a huge part of your passion because it's how you came.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about what you do with younger mums in the toddler groups?
Well, it's Kaylee mainly that does the toddler group and baby group. I just interfere. I'm tea lady these days. It's right good. Standing chopping grapes and things. It's brilliant. So Kaylee's in her family. They've had a couple of people have had babies during lockdown, and she was saying, they're quite isolated. They're not going out. People aren't able to go and visit, and she said that she'd really like to start that. So I said, oh yeah, we'll do it. We can give it a go, And so that first session with the young woman that come, who'd had baby in lockdown and not seen anybody, and they were poorly and one thing and another. There's obviously a need for that. Yeah. So the first couple of weeks were quite small. There were 2 or 3. And then we had a big week where we'd got 7 mums, and it was fantastic because they were all just sat sharing experiences, and mine does this, and I got one of these, and it's about that, isn't it? It's Kelly sets it out lovely, and we are always, do you want a cup of tea? Well, I am. Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? And we all have a chat and things, and that's what we're trying to do with the baby group as well, and just get it to be a place where they can come, they can sit and chat, they can discuss things between themselves, and hopefully we're going to get some different sort of speakers in, so like some baby massage and baby beats and things like that, so gives them a bit more sensory stuff as well, the younger ones.
I started coming about 12 years ago, and because I had my own child, so I started coming to a playgroup. Once you're in, you're in. They don't let you go. Yeah, so I'd already got a child at school, so I just moved into the area and just heard about it and just going to playgroup. I just love helping. At the minute I'm not working, so I just love to come and volunteer and just helping people. I've not got much in life, so what I can give is my time then.
Lisa was saying, you know, you do stuff Monday to Thursday, and then she said Friday's our day off, but then she said, but Kaylee's starting baby group. So what was your reasoning behind that, just to do something else on top of everything else?
Just thinking of parents, what I've not been able to mix with the parents, and it's something what needed to be done in the area.
Amazing that you just come up with that and just to give
It's amazing church, they've funded it for me and we've bought new stuff, so church have funded it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. Yeah, the baby group started out with 6 mats with all different toys on, and I think 3 ladies came the first day, and I said, is everybody okay if we push the mats together? Because it just felt as though we were on our own. And they were like, yeah, that's fine, let's do that. And then as children can see each other.
And so during the pandemic, Lisa said that you helped a lot. Could you just explain what you did during the pandemic?
It was more, for the community, it was more for delivering the packages and coming to do the packages and delivering. And it's not just delivering, it's you have to work that route out as well, don't you? So
there's a lot to it, more than just delivering, isn't it? You did it once, didn't you?
Yeah, it's hard. And heartbreaking.
But every time we knocked and greeted them with this bag, and it was just, are we coming back? I don't think I'm going to be here for when we go back. I'm like, you are going to be here? No, I'm not going to be here. So
that must have been really tough.
Yeah, and then on some knocks, there were a Mr. and Mrs. and the Mr. had passed away. Yeah, and I weren't ready for that. My husband went car, I just went back to my husband and said, there's not going to be a lot of people back. Some children at the baby group have been born and then they've not done anything at all. So when it's the first place they've been to talk to other people, other mothers.
So once again, we see firsthand how valuable it is to have others around you.
Lisa, if I can say this, and I know Lisa will not mind me saying it, I know she won't, but Lisa is the one who's been a hard doer. I won't let anybody in the house just yet, but she has done my shopping for me. I can talk to her in confidence. I know I've got her full trust. She does a lot for a lot of people. She truly puts herself out for a lot of people, and I class her as just a jewel, if you can say. And I've just got to pick the phone up, and she's there.
It's like a family, you know. We do things that annoy each other. We sort it out and we try not to do it again, but
we're always there, kind of for each other.
Yeah, and we know that, you know, you could easily ring anyone. You know, if I were put, like I've had a couple of operations recently and not been able to work, and Kaylee's just literally stepped into them shoes and she's carried on, and, you know, it does just carry on because we all work together.
It's just on a Friday that I sit there because all parents have got their own children with toddlers. Everybody's running about and you can play with whoever. On a Friday, it's just, I just sit there and make sure everyone's got a cup of tea.
Just admire what you create, in a sense.
And whenever you speak to any of the lunch club members, the first thing they'll say is, when are we coming back? You know? We just have to keep saying, well, it'll be... I mean, last year I was saying, oh, we'll all be back for Christmas. We'll have a right big party. You know, but we will. We'll have a big party when we get back. We just have to keep telling them that, yeah, it's coming back, it's coming back, it's coming back, you know. I think short term, you're right, let's get everything back up and running in some form or other. It might be, such as lunch club, we might have to have just one day and they might have to come fortnightly, or, you know, for social distancing and minibus drivers and things. Long term, I want some like proper funding to pay Kaylee to do the work that she does. So there's a view to putting in a funding bid to the United Reform Church, but to other organisations and funding bodies as well. So I think, you know, it's a valuable job that she does, and I think she needs paying for it.
I'll need to get a job soon, so that's the next thing.
That's the aim, is to do this.
Well, I don't know if they'd be able to. If I'd be able to work here, so I might have to get a job somewhere else. But I said to my husband, I'm like, if I do nights, and then I could still do Monday mornings.
What you've seen today is a true example of how volunteering can change lives. And just like Kaylee, not everyone can afford to give their time. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be paid for the valuable and great work that they do. To find out more, go to ordinarykindness.co.uk, or to donate, go on the Just Giving page and search Ordinary Kindness.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Up the blades.
Up the blades, come on! Up the blades, let's definitely end on that.